Hey everyone, this is Jeff Gutt from Stone Temple Pilots. We're talking with Nate on the Vinyl Guide, and we'll see you in Australia.
Well, hey Australia, live music is back down under with the Under the Southern Stars Festival featuring Stone Temple Pilots, Cheap Trick, Bush, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and heaps more. Starting in March this year, check out dates and get your tickets for the biggest party of 2022, underthesouthernstars.com.au. Well, hey everyone, it's Nate, and apparently it's Stone Temple Pilots Week here on the Vinyl Guide podcast. Earlier this week, we spoke to STP founder and drummer Eric Kretz, and today we're talking to the new guy, Jeff Gutt. Jeff stepped into the Stone Temple Pilots singing position and has absolutely risen to the challenge. 2 albums in, and the guy's got an amazing set of pipes and a phenomenal attitude. Now today, we discuss Jeff joining the band, the records he grew up on, how he writes lyrics for Stone Temple Pilots, how he sings the lyrics written by others, the challenge of filling those big shoes, and much more. Again, Stone Temple Pilots is coming to Australia. Cheap Trick, Bush, Stone Temple Pilots, and more. Get tickets at underthesouthernstars.com.au. And if you like today's interview and what we do here on the show, tell your friends, share these episodes on your social media, tweet them out, help spread the word on the Vinyl Guide podcast. And guess what? We've got over 300 back episodes you can listen to anytime, featuring interviews with members of Metallica, King Crimson, Black Sabbath, and Flag, Joe Satriani, Don Was, Bernie Grundman, Steve Albini, and hundreds more. Follow and subscribe to the Vinyl Guide podcast on your podcast app and listen to your heart's content. Alrighty, enough of this chit-chat. Let's talk to vocalist, frontman, and all-around nice guy, Mr. Jeff Gutt of Stone Temple Pilots. Mr. Jeff.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Hey, right on time. The consummate professional.
That's right.
Look at you. Now, I see you even got the umlauts above your name here. Is that...
That's to help with the enunciation.
Jeff Gutt.
Gut, das gut.
Yeah. Wie geht's?
No, I don't know any.
That's all the high school German I remember. Anyway, man, great to see you. And I got to tell you, I'm very, very stoked about this trip to Australia you guys are making. Part of the Under the Southern Stars tour. This has been on and off, scheduled, canceled, rescheduled, everything.
Man.
It looks like it's finally happening, yeah?
I know. I keep saying my pants have been there more than I have. I've never been. My pants have been there at least twice.
Oh, no kidding! So this is your first blast to Australia. You taking any time, or is it just gig, and then you're going?
We got a couple of days off here and there, so I'll try to take it in as much as I can.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to doing besides the crowd work?
Well, yeah, seeing faces looking back at me is going to be a nice change of pace after the last couple of years, but I just want to take it all in, man. I want to put on some men at work and get to work on checking out some Australia for sure.
So these are going to be your first gigs in several years? Is that right?
Well, we did a run here for a few weeks in the States. Had canceled the last couple of shows because there was some COVID in the crew bus, so we had to cut it a little short. But luckily, everyone came out of that unscathed. So we'll be ready to go.
Okay, good. Have you had it yet? Have you had about? No, okay.
No, I'm typo negative, so it seems to not like me.
Okay. I guess that's good, because being a singer and being it's a respiratory issue, I mean, you got to be holy shit, getting this, even a mild case of it can really play with, your ability to get stuff done.
But these things, you never know what the long-term effects can be until they figure that out. So just trying to stay away from it as much as possible.
Yeah, good move. All right, so let's talk records, because here on the show, we're all about records and vinyl collecting and that sort of thing. Tell me. I love my phone. Oh, you do? Okay, good. You're a vinyl nerd yourself, yeah?
Let's start off with my dad's record collection and all his Simon and Garfunkel and all those things. Kind of taught me a lot about music, and I still remember like what the carpet looked like in the living room when I was little, just from listening to Simon and Garfunkel songs. Yeah. Weird things that helped, but it helped me with music, like creating a picture and how to really set the tone lyrically and melodically for that kind of. So that if you're listening to a song and during a certain time of your life, those experiences will come back to you, when you hear the song again. So
yeah, it's a great way to time travel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's free. Well, almost free.
So were your parents, encouraging with your music? Did they have a pretty cool record collection? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my dad used to drive. He used to drive from his work. He worked in the car factories in Detroit, and then he would drive out to my mom's, pick me up, and take me to my guitar lesson, which was like right by his house, and then drive me all the way back home, and then go back home. So he put a lot of time and effort into making sure I had all I needed.
So who were your rock stars? Who were the musicians that you looked up to?
Oh man, that's a tough one, because there's so many. I love the songwriting of like the older generation of the Beach Boys and Simon and Garfunkel and the Carpenters and even John Denver, and I just remember all that growing up. And Doors, obviously, with Jim's his swag and his fearlessness, kind of was the first person that was like just didn't give a shit, and so he was up there. And then obviously, getting into Zeppelin, starting off as a guitar player I was really into Hendrix when I started out, and then because it started with the blues for me, and I think it was a PBS special that was on like one of those weird channels when I was younger, and it was Robert Johnson, like how he sold his soul. It was like that fairy tale thing, and that just kind of captivated me and really got me into playing my guitar in my room for as much time as humanly possible.
Yeah, I want to sell my soul too.
I know, right? Yeah, like where do I sign up? But yeah, just so it just having the being influenced and excited about music, and to be able to sit in a room and figure it out, for hours on end. So that was kind of how it all started for me.
It sounds like a lot of time was spent in your youth, not just absorbing the music and appreciating, but also getting into the mythology. Like the fact that you know about Jim Morrison's kind of mannerisms and Robert Johnson selling his soul. It's like the whole story of rock and roll seems to be something that you're fascinated by.
Well, yeah, it's more than just, songs on the radio for me. It's like, there's stories behind everything, and the artists themselves and the songs themselves, and just, the story of learning an instrument, and like, for instance, like a Jimi Hendrix, where it was just like an extension of him. It wasn't really like he was playing an instrument. It was like the instrument was part of him. So just that comfort level and being able to express yourself and really tell a story or set a mood or make someone feel something. That's how it came for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Was there a record or two that you brought home that maybe didn't come from your parents, and they were saying, "Oh, what is this?" Something that may have shocked them, or something that you discovered on your own?
Yeah, Huey Lewis and the News.
Ooh, rebel! You rebel!
I know. It was the record Sports, and it was like that was like the first record, like that record that I bought. And after all these years and listening to my dad's records and just kind of growing up on that, I remember I came home with that. And they were looking at me weird, like, where did this come from? Like, out of left field, I'm like, I just like that one song. And then, I've been buying records, or even on iTunes, just I'd hear a song and a lot of it tends to be on that Soundscapes channel now that I have. It's like just, instrumental stuff. Cause when I like to fall asleep to music, but I can't do it if it has like singing on it, because then I start listening to like what the singers are doing, and it keeps me up because I won't stop thinking about it. And whereas it's just music, I won't think. I'll just kind of zone out.
Do you dissect the songs as you're listening to them? You hear another artist, you're like, oh, I see what they did there. Can you enjoy it, like really step outside yourself as a musician to consume it, or do you always kind of pick it apart?
It's like usually in different phases. Whereas at first time I hear a song, I usually just try to take it in and get the overall feeling that I get from it, or what the message is, or or if a lyric is cool, but then I'll dig in more on a site on, more listens and later on, and kind of go through it that way. If it depends on how much it inspires me. If it really inspires me, I'll get really, if it's like Bowie or something, I'll definitely take my time and try to figure out where it came from and what he was thinking and when he did it, and what he was the point he was trying to get across, and how he went about doing it. And there's other artists like that, of course, but there's too many to mention.
So you follow the work of artists like most of us do. Do you also follow the work of producers? Like if someone's produced a particular set of albums, you're interested in following their path?
Not as much. I like Brian Eno. He did Joshua Tree, and then he produced that, and then he does like instrumental stuff, like that movie Apollo with Tom Hanks where they go to the moon. Like he did the soundtrack for that. So it's like, or he has a song on that soundtrack. I can't remember what it is, but I think it's called Apollo actually. But so I have that record, and it's like weird because half my records in my phone are just kind of like instrumentals, which is strange, but being that I'm a singer. But
do you sometimes listen to instrumentals and kind of make up your own melodies as you go along?
Absolutely. But more it's just that because I feel like I can get just as much out of the music as I can from a singer, what a singer decides to do with a song. And so it kind of leaves it a little more open for me that I can kind of interpret it. It leaves less more to the imagination, because there's so many possibilities that it could do.
Is that how the new material for Stone Temple Pilots comes up? Do you get instrumental tracks and you kind of build your melodies, or are they a little bit more fully formed when you do it?
Every song is different, really. Every song is different. Some like off the self-titled, the Butterfly record, some of those were, the music was done. I remember I went in and did and I just went in and sang gibberish over them, just trying to get the melodies down and the vibe of how I was going to sing it, and not really any lyrics or anything. So there weren't actually any words. I was just kind of mumbling, and sometimes the freedom of that can help. I did 6 in the first day, which was crazy, and then went back and wrote lyrics for the melodies that I had come up with, which pretty much I ended up keeping what I did that day, which was really odd because it was so quick, but I think that kind of helped because I got to keep it simple, and didn't try to I wasn't even thinking about it at all. I just kind of did what came to my mind, and it worked out. In
the set, you've got new songs, you've got old songs, classics, songs you didn't write the words for, and songs you did. Yeah. How do you approach that as an artist? Like, do you have a different, I guess, a kinship to ones that you had a hand in forming?
Not really. I feel close. I mean, as a fan, I was so close to those songs before I even thought about becoming a singer or auditioning or trying to get my name in there. It was that I feel a comfort level with those songs, like a lot of fans do. Like they feel like they own the songs, and they do to a certain extent, and so I was of that ilk before I walked in and started, putting down my ideas for the songs that I wrote with them or ideas they came in with. So, I've not really, some of the songs I wish I didn't sing so hard and high on, like Roll Me Under, because it's like, man, I got to sing that again. It's next song again. Shit. But, I love singing it. It's like a balls to the wall, vocal thing that I do in there, and put in that little falsetto note in the chorus that doesn't even belong in there. I was actually trying to hit a different note, and my throat just did that, and then we decided to keep it. So my throat dictated what we were going to do in that song.
Yeah. Look, I think you've done an amazing job of stepping into a situation that is, in anyone's measurement, difficult. And, the fans have your back all along. When you sing a song that Scott sang, or even any of the Chester material, how do you keep yourself from doing an imitation of them?
We'll be back after these messages.
Hey everyone, let me tell you about AudiofileUSA.com. AudiofileUSA.com is a fantastic place to buy used records online. AudiofileUSA.com has a heap of inventory, like tens of thousands of records you could search through online, and they are all excellent and near mint quality. These are your final upgrades, beautiful records that you can enjoy for years to come. AudiofileUSA.com is a family-owned and operated business, and they work hard to find the absolute cleanest records in the world and make them available to you. Head up there now, AudiofileUSA.com, search and dig through their selection and find the deals. Get a box of love on its way to you now from AudiofileUSA.com. Now, I know that you know that the Groove Washer is the best record cleaner in the world, but did you know that Groove Washer now makes archival quality record sleeves too? Yep, the world's best record cleaner is now making some fantastic sleeves and record accessories for a limited time introductory offer. The Groove Washer Groove Guard record sleeves are absolutely fantastic, so head up there now and try them for yourself. Go to groovewasher.com and use discount code FINALGUIDE10. That's the Groove Washer record cleaners, record sleeves, and other protection for your record collection. That's groovewasher.com.
Now we return to the program, already in progress.
No limits.
When you sing a song that Scott sang, or even any of the Chester material, how do you keep yourself from doing an imitation of them?
It's just mainly it's like if I'm singing the song in my head, I'm not thinking about how they sang it. I'm just I remember the vibe, and the emotion, kind of how much there was and how little there was, if it's subtle or if it's really in your face. Like those, I just break it down to those basics, and then I just kind of do it like how I remember it, I guess, like through my memory, which isn't all that great. So,
yeah.
So it kind of just becomes like my own. Cause sometimes I'll go back, like, when we get ready to do something, I'll make a playlist and just kind of go over everything. So, so I remember, the parts and everything, and how many times it does this and how many times it does that. And I'm like, man, I really don't sing that like that. I should probably do a little more like that. But I mean, it's random. It's different with every song. Some songs are just naturally in my wheelhouse of doing it the same way, and some of them are just not. So I just kind of make up find my own path of where I can feel comfortable.
Yeah, because the singers, they have their own distinctive style, and even when I'm singing songs just around the house, I find myself kind of doing these inflections that are inherently part of their style. Of course, no one's listening to me in the house, and people are you got 1,000+ people looking at you. So
no pressure.
It's got to be a bit of a fine line to ride for you. Does it feel that way, or am I making more of it than it is?
Yeah, not really. It's just I try not to think about anything when I'm up there. I just kind of try to just really exude the emotion of the song, whatever it is, and just break it down to that. Because if I try to overthink it too much, it'll. I would try to get the notes right and just try to do it somewhat in the same wheelhouse, but luckily I'm not, too, I'm like, my voice isn't that different, I guess, in the big sense of the thing. So, like the people that I grew up playing in bands with, they know how I sing, and they're like, yeah, that sounds like you, and strangely, it just happens to sound enough like Scott that it works, So I guess I just had the right tools in my toolbox to get the job done, which is why I kind of showed up in the first place. As a fan, I wanted it to be done right, and I have so much respect for those guys, and wanting them to continue their journey and really see it through like the way they want to do it. So I'm just happy, honored to be a part of that, and it keeps to keep Scott's memory alive, and Chester, that they were a part of this, and that's important to remember those guys, and I feel like as long as we're out there playing, we're and then they're still with us in a way,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think it's an incredible story how you were a fan and then were able to then move toward, it is kind of almost a fairy tale kind of trajectory. Yeah.
It's very much like that movie Rockstar, where they got to tell me to stop smiling all the
time. Yeah. Yeah, don't look too happy. You never met Scott, but you did know Chester. right?
Yeah, I knew Chester pretty well. Yeah, we got signed by the same guy that signed Linkin Park signed a band I was in called Dry Cell, and so I knew them. I knew those guys before. I knew Chester before that record even their Linkin Park even came out, because I remember calling a buddy from Detroit. And I was like, "You ever heard of Linkin Park?" And he was like, "No." So that was definitely before, I think they had that One Step Closer that just come out. And, he was kind of in the same situation I was, because I was the implant in that band, and he was the new guy in his band, kind of, he had been doing it for a couple of years at that point. But, so we kind of had a kinship, we were in bands that, that were together before we joined, and then we were the kind of like the final piece.
Right.
So and he would come down to some of our writing sessions and hang out, and all that. So he was a really good dude. And actually, when I was doing a private, just for industry show, not a show, it was like a rehearsal for with STP before I was even announced as a singer, and he called to ask if he could come, and he was on my guest list, even though he sang with those guys. So they were going over they're like, Chester? I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought it was cool that he wanted to know. Of course he didn't want me to feel uncomfortable if he was there, but I was like, hell no. Come, I'll call you up and come sing one, which I did.
So stepping into the role again, a beloved band with a legacy that's both triumphant and murky. What are some of the unexpected challenges the things you didn't expect when you got the gig that you came across?
Well, I used to sing a lot harder, back in the day, and so it was kind of relieving that I could just go for tone and not have to push so hard all the time. And, felt like my head was going to pop off singing some of that stuff that I was doing when I was younger. But yeah, it was just such an organic thing where it just felt right. And it was like, it fit my voice, and it wasn't like I wasn't trying to stick a square peg into a round hole. It felt good to be able to sing. Thank God Scott was so good at what he did, that he wrote some great stuff, and a lot like Bowie, he would have a character for each song, almost. And so he was a big influence on me, just from that respect, where he never approached any two songs the same way, really. He would change things up and approach things differently. And Morrison did that a little bit, Bowie did it a lot. Scott was great at it.
Is the band able to play songs with you as singer that maybe they couldn't have with Scott or Chester?
Yeah, they say that all the time. They're like, we didn't really play this one very often, and I can't remember which ones they were offhand, but there were a few where they hadn't really played them that much live as a band. And so until we started doing them, it was a couple of tours ago. I have to think about which songs those were, but I don't really remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it felt good to be like, yeah, okay, we can. I guess I'm contributing something, and with my ability that, if they couldn't do it before, now they can, and I'm proud of that for sure.
Are there any songs that are kind of a no-go area? Songs that the band won't do?
There's certain songs that, Sour Girl, it was so, to me, that was such a huge part of what STP was to me, that it makes me a little sad to sing that one. We've done it a few times, and I'm just like, it just doesn't feel, I don't feel like I'm doing it justice in a way, So, so there's every now and then there's a couple of those, but for the most part, it's just like they yell it out. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, there's got to be times I would imagine that it would be quite emotional for the other members, to be able to hear you, and your voices you have some strong similarities to the other singers. That's got to bring them back to some moments occasionally. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I remember we did a 4th of July show at Pearl Harbor for all the troops and their families were out there. Mm-hmm. There was like a battleship out right in front of us, and that was cool. And we flew in there from Japan too, which is weird. And it's just very strange. And then I sang the national anthem before we did our show, and I turned around and
there were some tears coming down their faces. And so it wasn't even an STP song. It was actually the national anthem, which was
right.
Strange.
Well, okay, so what song, not STP, whatever, any song out of the whole kit that makes you emotional?
Oof. Oh man, there's definitely been moments. We used to do Plush, like we used to do it like slow, and it was just Dean and I, and so it was like a relationship where we kind of did this thing where we weren't speaking, but we had to kind of play off of each other, and because it was done differently, like to the point where sometimes I would almost even lose my spot where I was because it was like it's being
resting on the tension.
Yeah. So there was like, yeah, and there was a few times there where you could definitely there was definitely some emotion in there, just because of the way we were doing it, I think.
Yeah. I can see you right now in your body language right now. It's very, you're going back there kind of like, oh, okay. Really kind of feeling that again.
Yeah. I'm glad we do that one full rock now.
Now the last album, 2020's Perdita. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes. Perdita, yeah.
Very different album than the one before, certainly than any others that STP has done previously. What were the conversations going into that project?
I think there was just a lot of life happening, and we were on a tour in Canada, so we had a lot of downtime in those, cement, no window, hockey arenas, like after sound check, it would be like, 5 hours till you go on. So there was a lot of just, going in the shower room. They have the big, huge shower rooms where there's a lot of good reverb, and sitting down on the floor and an acoustic guitar and just kind of going over and hashing out the parts, and then kind of what everyone was just going through in life and at that time, and just trying to put it all into like almost like a therapeutic release in a way. And they had started mentioning, we always change our songs afterwards because they write a lot of them on acoustic, and then they changed it to full band, and they were like, they said they always wanted to do a record where they just kept it the original way, so they wanted to use all vintage instruments, and they did. They brought in all kinds of crazy stuff that most of it I can't even pronounce. So, but it was really honest, and it was really organic, and it happened naturally. Like we were supposed to do an EP basically of like 6 or 7 songs, and then we got in there and they just kept writing songs. So it's like, we got to stop this at some point. We're going to have like a triple album of acoustic songs, but I mean, they've always done their records, after Core, the Purple, that's a big change, and then, just kind of, they've always taken chances like that and did what they wanted to do artistically. And I think that was, it was a bold approach, but I was behind them on it. Why not?
Is that the direction you see it going further, or are you starting to pull together material?
I think that was something that they just kind of always wanted to do. And it's kind of in my wheelhouse. And so that was kind of, just something that felt natural, and that we just really wanted to do. I think who knows what the next one will be. I haven't heard any of the new stuff yet, but I'm sure they're always writing it, because they're always writing. And I got my ideas, and I'm sure they got a million ideas. So hopefully we'll get to sharing those things with each other. Maybe when we're on tour in Australia.
Hey, yeah, pop out a new one. We'd be keen.
Yeah, right.
So you still play guitar?
I do, yeah. I have. There's one in every room.
Do you strap one on before you go on stage? Guitar, I mean. Do you? Because here, it's Stone Temple, it's always been the singers have not been musicians as well, right? This is a unique opportunity. I like playing guitar. I like writing songs and stuff, on my own. Just coming up with an idea and not needing someone to come help me, So, I love the freedom of not having one on when I'm on stage, because it's, again, you break a string, a tune. It's like I'm good. I'll just sing, Yeah.
But so maybe someday if I get another project going, I'll play some guitar, but who knows? But you got D in your band. Who the hell wants to play guitar?
I know. I'm just saying, they're like you said, they've always taken chances. They've been very bold about it. Yeah, let's see what kind of something that would, maybe to be able to give Dean another level of exploration live.
Yeah. I mean, there was a song on a 2018 record, Thought She'd Be Mine, that has a lot of guitar parts going on. So I was like, we were trying to figure out how we were going to do that, but we were going to put that one in the set for the that Perdita tour that we were going to do. But I had to have back surgery, and then COVID hit and all that fun stuff. So
okay.
But there's a million guitar parts in that song.
So I know we've got a limited amount of time. Let's talk about your record collection. It sounds like you've got a collection there that you're very proud of.
All right. It's all right.
Tell me.
Yeah, I got some Neil Diamond. Got some. Obviously, I have some because I love Neil Diamond's voice. I always have. He's got one of those. Hello, my friend. Hello. It's just so good. And I mean, there's Zeppelin, obviously. I got some Carpenters in there. Got some Aretha, because my Motown roots. And there's definitely some Bowie. Jeff Buckley. I'm a huge Jeff Buckley fan. So,
did you ever see Jeff live? Did you ever see
No, I never did. But man, Live at Chennai, that record is just one of my favorites, and it's really long. So if you have a long flight, it's like you can, that'll get you through it. But
so if we look at let's say the top 3 most played records in your collection, what do you think they'd be?
Jeff Buckley would be up there. That's pretty much my go-to. Rumors would probably be up there. And then I would probably go with, I have a live Bowie record. I can't remember what it's called, but I play that one a lot too, because it's like 4 different discs. So. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, so really colorful. I think it's live in Glastonbury or so. I can't remember, something like that.
I think it came out a few years ago on record.
Yeah. It's really colorful. It's got really great, liners on the inside. And I remember those days when, people used to actually listen to records and sit down and go through all the artwork and follow along with the lyrics. And that's kind of how that's how I learned how to write songs, was by listening to other songwriters.
Do you still do that? Do you have okay, this is my music time, I'm kind of just making a few hours here just to absorb music, look through liner notes, that sort of thing? Yeah,
I do that. It's nothing like a bottle of wine and a record, put a record on and just kind of, immerse yourself into it and kind of forget about the world for a little while. And just, it's like, I don't know, it's like going to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory for me, where it's like, it's like you just lose yourself in there.
So if we're looking through your record collection right now, what do you think people would be most surprised is in there?
Ooh, that's a good question. I might have to actually look for that. Let's see.
Cannibal Corpse?
No, there's nothing that heavy. God, most surprising? I don't know. There's probably some Bee Gees in there somewhere, I imagine. Some of those old classics.
That's not surprising.
I got a lot of Beach Boys. But, yeah, I don't know.
Have you heard the recordings? It's the Pet Sounds only vocals.
No, haven't heard that.
There's a version out there. I don't know if it's a bootleg or if it's original. Someone sent me a picture of it, but yeah, there's a release of you can get Pet Sounds that's no instruments, just the vocals, just the harmonies.
That's crazy. I would love to hear that. But
yeah,
there's a lot of chord changes going on. A lot of music theory in there.
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous, absolutely. Now, what are your go-to record stores? Do you live in Southern California?
Yeah, I live in LA. I'm kind of over. There was a record store when I lived in over by Melrose that I used to go to a lot. And they had a lot of classical and stuff like that. But I used to spend some time in there with the old guy that ran it, and he was cool. So he would like let me borrow some things and bring them back, and so it was cool.
Is that right across from the high school?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Fairfax, like right by Fairfax and Melrose there.
I know that record shop. Yeah. The guy actually kicked me out of it
because
he doesn't price anything. So
No.
So I'd go in there. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, I go, how much is this? That's $60. Oh, okay. I put it back, and then he's like, "You have 2 more. You can ask me the price on."
Really?
Like, what? Okay.
He was so cool, man. When I was in there, he was so cool. Maybe it was a different guy working. I don't know, but
it's like the soup Nazi. You either get in good with them and they take care of you, or out the door.
Yeah.
And that's, by the way, that's exactly. I like my record store owners with a bit of crankiness to them.
Oh,
so
yeah, you got
I was
to.
okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta have some attitude.
Well, Jeff, we are very excited about you guys coming down to Australia. Again, this Under the Southern Stars tour has been scheduled and rescheduled and postponed. And I'm actually very pleased. It's still the same lineup coming over, right? It's you guys, Stone Temple Pilots, it's Cheap Trick, it's Bush, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and we're really looking forward to that. And I think we all deserve a big fun time at a festival. So underthesouthernstars.com.au, pick up some tickets. You guys are hitting Sydney, Brisbane. Oh, geez, where else are you guys going?
Yeah.
Melbourne, Wollongong, Newcastle. Every place in between. And
Maitland, Hastings. I don't even know how to say some of these places, but we'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be Jeff's first time in Australia. So all you Aussies, be kind to him. Make sure you show him all the local craft beers. We look forward to welcoming you and your brethren down under.
Absolutely. Can't wait to do it. Thank you, my friend.
All right, there we go. Mr. Jeff Gutt here on the Vinyl Guide. And hey, don't forget, we just spoke to Eric Kretz, the drummer of Stone Temple Pilots, episode 327 of the Vinyl Guide. Go back and check that out as well. And I hope to see you guys at the Under the Southern Stars Festival, underthesouthernstars.com.au. Tickets, dates all across Australia can be had there. And that's it for this episode of the Vinyl Guide. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share these episodes across your social media. Share them on Facebook, tweet them out on Twitter, tell a friend, telegraph an enemy. Help spread the word of the Vinyl Guide podcast. That is hugely helpful. And we'll be back shortly with a brand new episode. So until we talk next time, get out there and buy some records, people. Cheers.
That's it for this episode of the Vinyl Guide. Send your thoughts to Nate at thevinylguide.com or follow or tag us on Instagram at Vinyl Guide. Until next time, keep spinning.